What if I told you that the most talented road course driver in NASCAR history, a three-time Supercars champion with 80 career wins, is being hung out to dry by his own team? And what if I told you I can prove it? Shane van Gisbergen, SVG, finished 36th at Kansas, dead last among running cars, 4 laps down. And here's the thing. He wasn't alone. Every single Trackhouse Racing car was outside the top 25, all 3 of them. Now, the American media shrugged their shoulders and said, ovals are hard. But I went deeper. I pulled the data. I read the crew chief radio transcripts, and I found a pattern that nobody on American television is talking about. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why SVG is struggling, and the answer is not what you think. But first, you need to see the evidence. Let's start with the facts. SVG opened 2026 with genuine promise, 2nd at COTA, 6th at Atlanta's road course, 11th at Phoenix. An oval, by the way, where he showed real improvement. NASCAR insider Jeff Gluck said on the teardown, and I quote, SVG was up there all day. He was pretty much the best of the non-big 3 cars throughout. Here's why that matters. That's not a driver who can't race. That's a driver whose ceiling is being capped by his equipment. At Kansas, SVG qualified 17th, a personal best at that track. He was optimistic. He told media the team was finally understanding the new Chevrolet Camaro body. 24 hours later, 36th place, understeer so bad he couldn't even turn the car through the corners. A voltage issue mid-race, then his brakes failed. Pedal went straight to the floor. Listen to that radio call. Hopefully there's a reason. That's not frustration from a bad driver. That's a man who knows something is fundamentally wrong with what he's being given. But it gets even deeper. Because SVG wasn't just penalized by bad equipment, he was literally penalized by NASCAR for something his team did. Earlier this season, NASCAR found unapproved adjustments on SVG's car between pre-race inspection and the start of practice. The result? His crew chief Stephen Doran was ejected from the race. SVG was forced to start at the rear. He had to serve a stop-and-go penalty. His race was over before it even began. Now ask yourself, was that SVG's fault? He doesn't touch the car, he drives what they give him. And that brings us to the real question, what is going on inside Trackhouse Racing? Here's what the mainstream NASCAR media won't tell you. Going into 2026, Trackhouse Racing made sweeping internal changes. Ross Chastain's longtime crew chief, Phil Surgeon, was moved off the pit box after 5 seasons. The reason given publicly? Surgeon expressed a desire to come off the road. But Chastain got a brand new crew chief, Brandon McSwain, poached from Hendrick Motorsports. William Byron's lead race engineer, 16 Cup wins as an engineer. That's a serious upgrade. Connor Zilisch, the golden rookie, got Randall Burnett, a veteran Cup crew chief with 253 races and a championship with Tyler Reddick. And SVG, he kept Stephen Doran, the same crew chief from his rookie year. Now look, Doran guided SVG to 5 wins in 2025, but here's the critical detail. Every single one of those wins came on road courses. Mexico City, Chicago, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, the Charlotte Roval. When it came to cracking the code on ovals, the tracks that make up the majority of the Cup schedule, Doran and SVG are still searching for answers. So why didn't Trackhouse bring in an experienced oval specialist for their most talented driver? I have a theory about that, and it involves a decision made by team owner Justin Marks that I'll break down in just a moment, because it connects directly to the numbers I'm about to show you. Right now, as of 10 races into the 2026 season, SVG sits 19th in points with 215. Ross Chastain, 18th with 216, 1 point separating them. Connor Zilisch is 33rd with 124. Look at this, 3 cars, same organization, Same Chevrolet Camaro body, and not a single one of them has race-winning pace. Now here's the bombshell. Trackhouse crew chief Randall Burnett, Zillish's guy, admitted it openly to Front Stretch. He said, "We've obviously got a new body for the first time in a long time. There are certainly some different characteristics. I think as a whole, all the Chevy cars are learning. Some of them are doing a better job of learning than others." Read between those lines. Some Chevy teams are figuring it out. Trackhouse is not. Kyle Larson in a Hendrick Chevrolet sits 5th in the standings. Trackhouse's best driver is 18th. That's not a driver problem. That's an engineering problem, an organizational problem. Even Denny Hamlin, a Toyota driver with no reason to defend Chevrolet, said on his podcast, the Trackhouse cars were quite a bit better on mile-and-a-halfs to end last year. Through the offseason, it's making your stuff worse. The numbers don't lie, and they tell a very different story than what the TV commentators are saying. Now let's talk about what's really fueling the frustration. And I know you feel this. Kevin Harvick, a NASCAR Hall of Fame caliber driver, said it plainly. It's crazy that it's hated instead of celebrated. He's talking about the way American fans and media react to SVG's road course dominance. Instead of recognizing a once-in-a-generation talent, there's a segment of the NASCAR establishment that treats him like an outsider who's gaming the system. Here's why that matters. When SVG wins at Watkins Glen or Sonoma, certain commentators dismiss it. Oh, he's just a road course ringer. But when he struggles at Kansas or Talladega, suddenly it's proof he doesn't belong. You can't have it both ways. Forbes ran a headline earlier this year. Shane van Gisbergen's new NASCAR problem. Too few right turns. The subtext, NASCAR reduced the number of road courses on the 2026 calendar. The very tracks where SVG dominates, they took some of them away. Coincidence? Maybe. But if you're watching from Melbourne or Auckland right now, you'd be forgiven for sensing a pattern. And through all of this, the penalties, the mechanical failures, the equipment disadvantage, SVG hasn't publicly thrown his team under the bus. Not once. He said a lot to learn from today. He said, we'll be ready. That's the mentality of a champion. But champions also need weapons, and right now, Trackhouse isn't giving him one. So, is Trackhouse Racing sabotaging Shane van Gisbergen? No, let me be clear about that. There is no deliberate sabotage, but are they neglecting him? Here's my verdict. Trackhouse is an organization in crisis, and SVG is the one paying the highest price. Justin Marks made a calculated bet. He expanded to 3 cars, reshuffled his crew chiefs, and committed resources to launching Connor Zillish's career. A young American driver with enormous marketing value. That's not sabotage, that's business. But when an organization spreads itself thin and gets the new Camaro body wrong, somebody suffers. And the driver who suffers most is the international star who doesn't have the American sponsorship leverage to demand priority. But here's the plot twist. Yesterday, literally yesterday, SVG won the pole at Watkins Glen. On his 37th birthday, he's defending his Cup win at that track on Sunday and starting from the front. The talent hasn't gone anywhere. The fire hasn't gone out. The question is whether Trackhouse will give this man what he needs for the other 30 races on the calendar. If you're watching from Australia or New Zealand, here's what I want you to know. SVG is not the problem. The system around him is still catching up to what he deserves. And this channel is going to keep holding Trackhouse's feet to the fire until they figure it out. Drop your take in the comments. Is Trackhouse neglecting SVG, or is this just growing pains? And make sure you subscribe, because after Watkins Glen this Sunday, we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'll see you then.